Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you about my January favorites and fails. I definitely have a bunch of favorites in this video. I had a very good January, but there's also a few things that just did not work for me. So I want to start, I've got some skincare, a little bit of skincare, a bunch of makeup, a little hair care, but here we go, we'll go through it. So the first thing I want to talk about is cleansers. I was on a huge cleanser kick in January. I bought a bunch in December and I've been making my way through them through January. And yeah, I've got some winners and some losers. So we'll start with a winner. I tried this one from Milk Makeup. This is their vegan milk cleanser. This is their mini version. They do have a bigger version as well. This is a beautiful cleanser, you guys. So basically what I'm looking for in a cleanser, I am looking for a relatively gentle cleanser because I do a double cleanse. So I usually use a cleansing balm first and then follow with a cleanser, or then in the morning I have a cleanser in my shower. And so this is kind of the cleanser that I would use in my shower in the morning. So I'm not trying to take off a bunch of makeup, but what I'm trying to do is clean my face and not dry it out. Because even though I have combination to oily skin, I find that so many cleansers make me feel really tight when I come out of the shower. So that's kind of my big, criteria. And then I think the other part of that equation is I want something that doesn't leave a film. There are some cleansers out there where you feel like you can't wash them off, and that is a big no-go for me. I hate that feeling. Now, this is a fragrance-free cleanser. I don't require fragrance-free cleansers. Well, let me rephrase that. I really like to be fragrance-free in the majority of my skincare. I'm a little bit more open in cleansers, or a little bit more flexible with cleansers because they wash off your face. So this is a fragrance-free cleanser, but it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful cleanser. The second cleanser that I tried that I actually really love is this one from Tatcha. This is their rice wash. I love this because it uses rice to get a little bit of an exfoliation, but it's super gentle, because that's the other thing I don't want. I don't want really harsh scrubs on my face. I'd much rather use a chemical exfoliant than a manual or a mechanical exfoliant on my face. And so this is beautiful from Tatcha. Now it is Tatcha. And what I mean by that is Tatcha has fragrance. So there is definitely a fragrance to this, but I don't find it off-putting. I don't find it really intense. I really wanted to try the new cleanser from Fenty, but I've heard that it is very perfumey, and I am not crazy about that. So I'm going back and forth about whether I want to try that. The last cleanser I tried, this is my big fail, you guys. This is from First Aid Beauty. This is their Pure Skin Face Cleanser. Now this is fragrance free as well. I don't know what is in here, but it smells awful. Like so awful that I had to plug my nose while I was using it. And that, skincare is supposed to be an enjoyable experience. So I never want to be like, yeah, I needed to hold my nose while I used this product, but it really cleaned my face well. I just, no. So I think it's the oatmeal. I think because this has got oatmeal in it, I'm wondering if that's what it is. And don't get me wrong, this cleansed my face. It didn't leave my skin tight, but it just smelled terrible. So nope, that's a big fat no for me. So next I want to jump to makeup, and I'm going to start with foundation. January was also a big month for foundations for me. I tried a bunch, well, not a bunch. I tried a few, and I'm planning to try a few more in February as well. The first one I tried, well, I guess I'll start with a fail, is this one. This is the brand new one from Bare Minerals. This is their liquid mineral foundation. So full disclosure, I have never tried the original Bare Minerals powder foundation, ever. I remember the infomercials. I remember when it came out. I was kind of like a matte girl at that time, so I never tried it. So maybe this year I'll try it. But this new liquid mineral foundation from Bare Minerals, I could not make this work for me. The first time I used it, every time I use a foundation, I always use it for a full week. I want to make sure I'm trying it with different primers, different powders. I'm trying it with brushes or my fingers or a sponge. I want to make sure that I give it the best chance I can. And this one, oh, so I put it on the first day, and I swear all I got was sunscreen. I am convinced all I got was sunscreen, and my skin was so shiny. It was like a disco ball. It was awful, and it just felt greasy and gross. So the next day I shook it. I shook it up because I read the box and it said to shake well, which I'm like, oh, I guess I should be shaking well. So I shook it up, and it was better in that I didn't just have sunscreen on my face, but it just didn't hold up. You know, it kind of slid down my face. It was just too shiny. I wonder if someone wore this who has dry skin, they may love this. But for someone like me with my combination oily skin, it was just, frankly, kind of a disaster. So yeah, kind of a no-go for me. You know what I thought was interesting about this? I read the box, and I saw an ad in like an Ulta circular or something about it. And they said that it's a luminous foundation, but then it said it had a soft matte finish. And I'm like, those are kind of not the same thing. So I felt like it almost was like confused with its marketing, and I feel like it was very confused in the way it was set up. So the next foundation I tried, this is from Too Faced. This is their new, well, it came out this summer, but this is their Born This Way matte. Now, I have never tried the original Born This Way foundation, but I wanted to try the matte because, again, with my combination oily skin, I tend to gravitate towards matte or soft matte, velvet matte foundations, especially in the winter. And this is a beautiful foundation. Now, it is temperamental. The first time I used it, I put a single pump on my hand. A pump is too much of this foundation. Literally, like a half pump is the perfect amount to put on your face. So the first time I used it, I put a pump on, and it was way too much. It got really powdery, really cakey. So the next time I used it, I cut it in half and just used a half pump that worked much better. It also dries very quickly. So you've got to work in sections, or you got to move fast, which for some people is fine. And for some people that's hard. And it's, again, it's very temperamental and tricky, but the finish is beautiful. So I do like this foundation. You know, I find it ironic because it reminds me of the concealer. So although I've never tried the original Born This Way foundation, I do have the Born This Way Sculpting Concealer. Everyone loves this on YouTube. Everyone talks about how amazing this concealer is. I find this concealer incredibly tricky and temperamental. It is full coverage, but man, I look at it the wrong way. I use a smidge too much, and it's a disaster. And so I use it. I actually like it better to cover blemishes on my face versus under eye. But under my eye, I have to be so careful with it. And it's just, you know, you got to ask yourself, is it worth it, right? Is it worth it to use a product that's so temperamental? So the reason I brought this up about how the foundation is beautiful but temperamental is this other foundation that has become literally my holy grail for the winter is this new one from Mars. This is the NARS Soft Matte Foundation. This is everything. It is amazing for the winter. Now, do I always want a soft matte finish? No, I don't. But if I were to compare this to this, I would choose this. So if someone said to me, Angie, I want a soft matte foundation and I only want one, versus someone like me who has, you know, 20 foundations, because I like to try things and switch it up and do all kinds of different things, I would say, well, get this one, you know, get the NARS, because it's still full coverage, still soft matte. It's just not nearly as tricky and temperamental as the Too Faced. Next up, you know, I just kind of talked about how that Born This Way concealer is so tricky. This is the exact opposite of it. This is a concealer I tried this month. This is the Dior Forever concealer. This is the exact opposite. This is idiot proof. I love this concealer. It is the perfect tone. It works perfectly under my eyes, and it's not temperamental. It's not tricky. You know, I can use a little too much and it's not going to destroy the whole look. It won't look super cakey. It won't do any of that. I don't know why it took me so long to try this concealer because it's amazing. It's beautiful, and it's become one of my absolute favorite concealers in a very short period of time. The last complexion product I wanted to talk about was powder. Oh, and I forgot to talk about the e.l.f. CC cream. So let me talk about that first. This is the e.l.f. Camo CC cream. This is another foundation that I tried. This is nice. This is quite nice. It reminds me a lot of the IT Cosmetics, so I definitely think this is kind of a dupe for that IT Cosmetics, meaning it's got good coverage, it's got kind of a luminous finish, and it's very inexpensive. So, you know, if you're looking for something quick and easy, this is a really nice, this e.l.f. Camo CC cream is a really nice CC cream. And if you're looking for a more budget-friendly dupe for the IT Cosmetics, I think this is a good one to try. So anyway, going on to the powder, I also tried the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. What I found about this powder is I like it. It's very finely milled. Again, it's inexpensive. It is quite brightening. I did like it on my face. I don't like it under my eye. So I'm gonna keep this one in my powder drawer and definitely grab for it. Moving on to eyes. So I am very late to the party on this. This is an eyeshadow palette that I've been looking at for 2 years, and I just never pulled the trigger on it. And I think it's because it's kind of pricey, and it's a matte only eyeshadow palette. And I kept saying, do I really want that? But it went on sale at Sephora. It was 40% off, and I just grabbed it because this is definitely my color story in regards to my eyes, and I'm wearing it on my eyes today. And this is the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes. This, I mean, the packaging's very pretty, but this is just definitely up my alley. It's kind of this peachy, but pink, but not too pink, with the taupes and a little bit of oranginess to it, but not orange or rust or bronze. So it's just definitely this kind of right in the middle, and it's just beautiful. So I think I didn't buy this originally because you know, again, if you've watched my channel, you'll know that I didn't change my makeup for over a decade. And then when I got into my 40s, I realized things weren't working. And so I ended up watching a lot of YouTube. I got a makeup lesson, and I started using a lot of makeup and trying a lot of things. And I realized how much I really enjoyed it. And so that's why I'm here. But I originally would focus just on matte eyeshadow formulas because I had been told that, well, when you're over 40, you shouldn't wear shimmers on your lid because you get textured lids. And I bought that. I was like, oh yeah, oh, okay. I won't wear shimmers on my lids. I'll only buy matte. And I think I ended up buying the Tartelette, the original Tartelette, which is, don't get me wrong, is a beautiful eyeshadow palette. But I got kind of bored with it. And so I ended up picking up the Tartelette in Bloom, which is a beautiful everyday palette, by the way. So if you're looking for a kind of OG, nice palette with a very easy formula, that's a really good palette. But I think that's why I stayed away from this palette, because I wasn't sure I wanted an only matte palette. But these colors are just, they speak to me. They're what I would tend to reach for. They remind me a little bit of the ABH, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance, a little bit. So I have been staring at it for a while, and I picked it up, and I am so glad I did. I'm having so much fun with this palette. It's just beautiful. The formula is beautiful. It's just very easy to work with. It's pigmented, but it's not chalky, and I'm not getting a lot of fallout from it. So I think it's a really good palette, and especially if it's still on sale, which I think it is, it's a great deal, because normally I think it's like $45, $46, and I picked it up for $27. So, and it's definitely worth that. So my other eye products are mascaras. So I tried 2 different mascaras. You know, the first one is from that e.l.f. video, which is their new Lash It Loud. This is not great, you guys. Now, e.l.f. is not known for their mascara anyway, but this is a mediocre mascara. It's just not very good. It clumps. It just doesn't really volumize my lashes at all. And yeah, it's just nothing to write home about. which bums me out. You know, I love drugstore mascaras especially. The other mascara I tried is, I got a little mini, this is the Lancome Idole. This was my birthday gift from Ulta. This is a nice mascara. However, it's kind of doing stuff that I don't need. So I have very long eyelashes, but they are very thin. And so and they're stick straight. So I have to use an eyelash curler. So when I look for mascaras, I am looking for volumizing and curling. That is basically what I'm looking for. I'm not necessarily looking for lengthening. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with lengthening, but it's not my primary purpose for wearing mascara. And I find that this is definitely a lengthening mascara. My eyelashes looked more lengthened when I wear it, but they are not thicker and they are not getting curled the way I need them to. Also, it clumped on me, which, you know, if you give me a mascara and it clumps on me or it flakes on me, it's a no-go. Especially at this price point. At this price point, you know, high-end mascaras have to be perfect for me to buy them because there's so many good ones at the drugstore. And last but not least, for the face, lips, one, I did try that e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine. This is that one with the cute little heart. I like this a lot, actually. Again, it's not trying to reinvent the wheel here. This is kind of like a lip stain or a tinted lip balm. I find that with COVID, because I'm wearing masks all day, I tend to really reach for just like a tinted lip balm, or or a lip stain, or I'm reaching for a liquid lipstick or something that's long wearing. But oh my gosh, my poor bullet lipsticks are just sitting there. I'm just not even using them at all. So I'm hoping over the next few months, we'll finally be in a place where, you know, I can grab my bullet lipsticks again. So that was, you know, okay. You know, it's a nice product. But the one thing I did fall in love with, I just explained that I'm not wearing a lot of bullet lipsticks, but I am wearing glosses like on the weekends when I can, because I do like lip glosses. And I picked these up. These are the new Lifter lip glosses from Maybelline. I say new, I think they came out this summer. But I have Moon and I have Stone. And oh man, they're just great. I love lip gloss. What I don't love is sticky lip gloss and gloopy lip gloss or glittery, chunky lip gloss. None of that sounds good to me. So I'm always on the hunt. I love the Fenty Gloss Bombs. Those are some of my favorites. But I honestly think these kind of give the Fenty Gloss Bombs a run for their money. I think these are beautiful and they've got a bunch of really nice shades and I'm a big fan. So moving away from face, I mentioned this in a previous video in a Sephora haul. I picked up this kit from Briogeo. So I think I mentioned before, I have psoriasis on my scalp, so I can use the best shampoo and conditioner in the world, and sometimes, especially in the winter, I get really dry scalp and itchy scalp. So I picked this up from Briogeo. This is their kit, came in a little travel, pouch. This is their Scalp Revival Charcoal and Peppermint Oil. They have the shampoo, they have the conditioner, and then they have the scalp treatment. I have really enjoyed these. My favorite is actually the conditioner. In fact, I think when this is all said and done, I think I'm going to end up buying just the conditioner, because I find that I don't necessarily need all three. I can just use the conditioner and feel better and not feel so itchy. So one thing to note about this, your hair is like squeaky clean when you're done with this. Some people don't like that because they feel like it feels stripped. I don't think it feels stripped. My hair wasn't, and granted, I have really oily hair, so the fact that it feels squeaky clean is like exciting for me, because that's actually hard to get with my hair just because of how oily it gets. So that's it, guys. I hope you like this. My favorites and fails. I definitely had some great products that I tried this month. I've got a bunch that I'm planning to try in February. I've got a Sephora haul coming, so I'm really excited to share, that, and then of course my thoughts on, those products as we move forward. So if you like this content, I hope you subscribe below, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye, you guys.